Hey everybody, this is Natalie with Treasures of Minnie, and this is another no stamping Halloween card. And this one's so cute and it's so interactive, but it's gonna mean that this video is a little more in depth, and I assure you it is not as hard as it looks at all. So I'm gonna be using this paper pad again, and these two word die sets from LittleB. I've used these in every one of these that I've done. So I guess basically I've proven with one paper pad and a few stickers and the LittleB Halloween words, you can make all kinds of cards. So since this takes a little time, the way that I've done this is I've wrote it out on the pieces. And you're going to need, this will be the base of your card. It's going to be 4 1/4 by 11, and it's going to be scored at 5 1/2, and then folded on your score line. And make sure you use your bone folder and get that score nice and good. Since these are just the sample pieces that I'm going through with you guys, you'll see me, I pretty much just do it with my finger. But this again is your card base. Then for the interactive part, the part that opens and closes, I picked orange, but I'm going to have, you're going to need a piece that's 2 3/4 by 11 inches long, and you're going to score it at 2 3/4, 5 1/2, and 8 1/4. Yeah. And then you're going to accordion fold it. Now, if you'll notice on this card, I am decorating this one a little different because I kind of get bored with doing the same one over and over again. So this card is going to pop up like the other card, but it's going to have different decorations and different colors. So this is the last piece that you'll need, and this is the part that's actually going to be the mechanism that moves. And so you're going to need to cut this piece at 8 1/2 by 10 3/4. And on the 10 3/4 side, you're going to score it at 5 3/8. So that'll be on the 10 3/4 side. And then on the 8 1/2 side, you're going to score this at 2 1/4, 4 1/4, and 6 1/4. And once again, I'm doing this in gel pen and writing on this so that you guys can see it better and kind of understand it a little more. These are not the actual pieces that I'm going to use for making the card. But anyway, so next you're going to fold it on that 5 3/8 score line. And this is really, really important. When I first made the card the first time, I did this on the wrong thing and I had to start over. On the folded edge, this edge that folds, you're going to take either your scoreboard, or I find this easy to do with your paper trimmer. You can also do it with a ruler. But you're going to put this folded edge on the 1 inch mark up there at the top. You'll see right there where I'm lining it up to is the 1 inch mark. And then you're going to put a tick mark at the top and the bottom of this piece of paper on the 1 inches in. So you could use a ruler and just measure 1 inch in. Then move it over, or if you're using a ruler, measure in 1 1/4. So I'm going to move it up to the 1 1/4, and I'm going to put a tick mark at the first little score line and the last little score line, which was 2 1/4 and 6 1/4, I believe. So now you'll see I have it at the 1 inch on each end. I have a tick mark. And at 1 1/4 inch on the first and last score line, I have a tick mark. And then I'm going to take my ruler and I'm going to draw a line to connect those, and it'll be like a diagonal line. And I would not do this with gel pen if I was you. I'm only using gel pen again so that you guys can see exactly what I'm doing. And I apologize for my head. Now that you have this, it kind of looks like a little t-shirt. If you're, well, you'll see what I mean in a second, that it's going to look like a t-shirt. So now I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut up on that score line and over on the diagonal, making sure that you've done this on the fold. So I'm going to cut up and over on both pieces. Now you can see it kind of looks like a paper t-shirt almost. Now I'm going to open it up and I'm going to fold it on that center, I think that's at 4 1/4 score line. So you're just going to open it up and fold it over and press down. You don't have to do that one with your bone folder because that's just going to make a line for us to kind of go by. It doesn't have to be really creased. So this is going to look tricky, but I promise it's not. You're going to take this score line and you're going to match it to the other score line. But you see where I have my finger right here in the center? You're going to want to make sure that that matches up, that it makes an X. So I'm going to put that score line to this other score line, and then before I press it down, I want to make sure that they're going to crisscross. They crisscross and make an X. And you want to make sure you get that lined up as best as you can. So that's how far you know to bring it up. And then do use your bone folder with this. You want to get that down very good. So see, they're going to crisscross and make an X. And now you're going to do the very same thing with this side. It's almost like origami if you've ever done origami. So I'm going to bring it up and make sure my two score lines meet up, and also make sure that it's meeting up and making a X at this point down here. And when they do, I'm going to use my bone folder. Well, you should use your bone folder. And make that crease really good. And then you'll see you have like a star in the center. Mine is a little off, and that's going to be okay because I'm going to show you how we're going to straighten that up. So pinch your two ends, and when you pinch those in, it's going to fold up. You can see it folds up, but you can see that mine is not straight. You see how it doesn't fold up straight? It's off. So I'm going to push them together and line them up perfectly and lay it down flat, and I'm going to press really hard up there to make sure they don't move. And then I'm going to take my bone folder and I'm going to lay it down flat, and I'm going to pull straight down on it, and you can see I'm doing it really hard. And that's going to make it line up perfect. I mean, see, it lines up perfect. So in the end, it's going to work out. If you're a little off, don't worry. And this is going to be the little piece that makes your card. Now, I actually cut other pieces so that when I'm making the card, I don't have all those marks written all over my piece. So this is a different piece. But now you're going to need two pieces of paper that are 3 3/4 by 5 1/2. And it's going to be these little inserts right here. The little, they're little, like scientist lab bottles. I don't know what they are on that page, but on this card I'm doing these sheets. Now, this is the best way that I can explain this to you. So if you have this open, this is the direction and the way that I want this piece of DSP to be. So I'm going to fold it up, leaving it on the inside in the direction and the side that I want it to be. I'm going to flip it over, slide it out, and put it right back over it. Then center this where I would want it to be on that piece, leaving a little bit on the bottom if you want like a 1/4 inch around. And then taking my pencil and tracing the diagonal lines. So now I'm going to grab my scissors and I'm going to cut right on the inside of the traced lines that I did. And you'll see why I did this in just a second. This is the easiest way to measure this and make sure they fit. And see? And now I can glue it down and it fits just perfect. So if we're going to do the same thing, I'm going to put this piece exactly the way I want it. And I'm going to fold it up with that piece still in there, flip it over, pull it out, and slide it up, leaving space on the bottom and on the edges to where I have like that 1/4 or 1/8 of an inch around it, or a 1/4 of an inch, whichever you want. I think mine's an 1/8 of an inch. Trace it with my pencil. And then cut with my scissors right on the inside of my pencil line. And then glue it down. And you can see it lines up perfectly. If you try to cut them both to the same size as one, it may not line up just right. So I recommend this is the easiest way. If you have another way, that is perfectly fine. So now we have that piece made. Now we're going to work on this little pop-up mechanism. And on this card, it's yellow. But on the new card, I'm doing it orange. And if you fold this accordion fold, and you can see it comes undone, it makes an M. And we want to decorate on the underside of that M. So it's going to be this side right here. Now I'm going to take my corner chomper, and I'm on the 1/4 inch side. I'm going to fold this back up, and I'm just going to go around and chomp all the corners. I also went on and cut 4 pieces of black paper 1/4 inch smaller than what that was, and I rounded all those corners. And then I did 4 more squares, even 1/4 inch smaller, and I'm going to round all of those corners as well. But this DSP comes from that paper pad, and one side are the spiders and the other side is some yellow stripes. So you'll see I do spiders, well, they're not yellow, they're orange stripes, spiders, and orange stripes. Each one of these squares is 1/4 inch smaller than the one before it. So I've got all those glued down. And now we're going to put together, we're going to attach it to our little mechanism here. So you're going to put glue on the bottom left-hand corner and the top right-hand corner. And you're going to fold your accordion and then turn it one time. So you're going to fold it and then turn it clockwise one time. Then you're going to line it up at the bottom and bring over this piece and hold it for a second. I'm using wet glue because you guys know I love wet glue, but you could use double-sided sticky tape or anything. So I'm going to hold it for a minute, and then I'm going to pick it up and turn my piece of paper all the way around to the other side because I want to bring this over to the other side. Boy, I hope this is making sense, guys. So I'm going to turn it and bring it over to the other side. And then I'm going to do the same thing and put that glue piece down, hold it, and then I'm just going to put some pressure. So then when you lift it up, this is what happens. Please feel free to rewind all this and watch it again. So I'm going to take my card base. I'm going to put glue all over one side of my little mechanism here. Lots and lots of glue. And I'm going to center it and line it up onto my card base. And then when I open it up, I'm opening it so that I can press down more. So you can see it's glued down. Now I'm going to put glue all over the other side and just lay it down and hold it for a minute if you used wet glue. And then look, how simple was that? Okay, so now I'm also going to use, from this paper bag, they had a couple of pieces that have little tags in it. And so I cut out some of the tags and I trimmed them down and used my corner chopper. And then I glued them down. And now I have this little pack of candy, like stickers. I think they're for scrapbooking. But they have foam tape on the back of them, and I don't need them to stick up that much. So I've taken the foam tape off the back, and I'm just using some Tombow. And I'm going to glue it down So anytime I use these little stickers, I always take the foam tape off the back because I have enough bulk in my card already. So you can see I glued down 2 little like tag things from the paper pad and 2 pieces of candy. And now for this paper, I'm going to take the boo and the eek and the spooky, and I'm going to cut out those words. I think I'm going to do each word twice, and I'm going to do it on some gold paper. This is some Stampin' Up! Paper. After I cut the words out, I ran them through my Xyron sticker maker, and then I'm sticking them on my page. I also ran the eek through again for the letters to go inside this in some gold purple glitter paper. I'm putting Tombow down in there, and you've guys seen me do this before. I'm just taking my tweezers and putting the letters inside of it, and you'll see it's really pretty. It's So there we go. Now when you open it up, it's got boo and spooky and eek and all that. So I'm going to cut a piece of orange, a 1/4 inch smaller than my card base. I glued that down, and now I'm going to take this really shiny piece. This is also from Stampin' Up, and I laid out the trick or treat on it, and then I ran it through my Big Shot. Now I'm going to glue it down on the panel of the front of my card over the orange piece. I'm just going to try to center it up as best, I eyeball everything. Now when I take the words out of trick or treat, remember we have to save those little bits because it's the little bits that we want to glue back into the trick or treat. So the way I do this is I pop the trick or treat in, I take my pencil and I outline where the little bits would be. Then I take the word out, and in those little outlines I add just a tiny little bit of Tombow, and then I pop those bits back in. So as you can see now I've popped them all back in, and the word says trick or treat. And these are 2 more pieces of candy from that sticker pack. And I'm also taking the foam back off of these because, like I said, my card has enough bulk in it already. And I'm going to glue these down with some Tombow. And I will name that sticker pack down below in the description. Now, you know me, I love my week of Stella, so I'm just going to go around the trick or treat and make it sparkly. So here's the card today. This one says trick or treat on the front. Anyway, guys, I hope you really enjoy this card, and feel free to go back and pause and rewind on those steps. I really did the best that I could do in trying to explain how to do this. I'm also pretty proud of myself because I did the voiceover for this whole card in one swoop, so that never happens for me. But anyway, here's the 2 cards. They both pop open, and you can decorate them any way you want. And as you can see, I did no stamping on either one of these cards. So I think I'm going to have one more video after this with no stamping, and then I really am just itching to get to my new Christmas stamp. So I think this will be the next one will be my last no stamping Halloween card. I really hope you enjoyed making this with me, and give me a thumbs up and hit subscribe so that you can see when more videos come. From my craft room to yours, loves and hugs. Bye.